This is News Center 4 Halftime Edition.
This halftime edition is brought to you by Porsche.
Good afternoon and welcome to this News Center 4 Halftime Edition.
Here are a few of the stories we're following for you this afternoon. A Denver woman is accusing Denver police of beating her common-law husband to death while he was in handcuffs yesterday. 2 officers have been placed on administrative leave pending an investigation of the incident. 29-year-old Philippe Mira died of an apparent heart attack after police intervened in a family dispute. Mira's wife, Jennifer, says the cops maced and punched her husband and refused to let her settle him down. Several neighbors who witnessed the incident are criticizing the police action. Paul Day will have a full report on it right after the game. And in Thornton this afternoon, police are still digging through what's left of Martha Guerra's home. Her son, Mark Stephen Guerra, became involved in a standoff with police that lasted nearly 57 hours. Police blew up part of the roof, and they eventually shot and killed the 33-year-old man Friday night. Police are now piecing together the events of the standoff.
Police at the University of Colorado are prepared for protests on campus tomorrow. Last year at this time, several arrests were made. People on campus were protesting the visit of Central Intelligence Agency recruiters. Well, CIA recruiters are visiting CU tomorrow. Weekend vandalism to administration buildings has been linked to the visit. The 3rd annual Better Air campaign got its start in Denver this weekend. More than 150 people spent time urging motorists to leave their cars at home 1 day a week to help reduce pollution. The campaign officially begins tomorrow. If your license plates end in 0, 1, or are personalized, you're asked to find another way to get around.
We'll be back with more on this halftime update.
Steve Anderson will join us with a look at our breezy weather. Stay tuned.
Preceding performance has been brought to you by Porsche.
Test drive the new 928 S4 at Prestige Porsche in Lakewood and Pioneer Porsche in Aurora.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Not everyone got a vacation this summer.
Great Gregory!
I need a vacation like nobody's business. I need a vacation.
This fall, you can still get great low fares to more places on the biggest bargain airline, United.
I got a vacation.
Give me another shot at it.
And I'm not just flying, I'm flying the friendly sky.
Nice soft landing. Last year was good. I like winning, and I love New Orleans. Now people keep saying, hey, how'd you do it? Well, if I told you, it wouldn't be a secret now, would it? Hi, Pete.
Taco Light, Taco Bell Grande. Only from Taco Bell. The cure for the common meal.
Men and Women Lifestyle Poll, Monday at 10.
Steve Anderson said it would be windy, and windy it is, so you were right.
Easy one to do. One good thing that came out of all the wind, the air quality is good today. Usually is on weekends anyway, but the forecast for tomorrow, air quality-wise, it's predicted to be good, but again, still, you folks with 0, 1 and personalized plates should try to find some other way to get to work tomorrow and get around in general. The forecast right now we're looking at is calling for wind to continue off and on through tomorrow. We're looking for lows tonight down around freezing. Tomorrow's highs about like today. Tomorrow should be a carbon copy of today with winds off and on. Winds have been heavy. Gusts up to around 60 miles an hour in some areas. Squaw Mountain, though, was at 84 miles an hour earlier this morning. Ward, 62. Rollinsville, 63. 30 to 40 mile an hour winds have been common generally along the Front Range today. There's a high wind warning in effect, and we'll be back later with a complete update on all the weather situations.
All right, watch for it then. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, coming up on News Center 4 immediately following the game, we'll go live into the Bronco football locker room.
And on the late edition at 10, we'll have a story literally will make your mouth water and your stomach growl. That's on the late edition after Terms of Endearment.
We'll be back after the game. We hope you'll join us.
This is News Center 4 Halftime Edition.
That was the tape from our pregame show today. We thought some of you might not have seen it or might like to see it again. Joe Namath is our guest in the studio earlier today, and right now he is out at the Meadowlands with the Jets playing the Colts. We'll be back in a moment as NFL 86 halftime activities continue.
Here in Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, the sun continues to shine. See the little spot on the right side? Well, it's shining on the Denver Broncos as they lead at halftime by a score of 31-7. Their offense has not played that well, and we'll be documenting that in the second half. But their special teams and defense have been exceptional. Again, Denver 31, Kansas City 7. We've got a lot of excitement for you awaiting back here, but right now let's go to Bob Costas in New York.
Meadowlands. Ken O'Brien has thrown 2 touchdown passes to Wesley Walker for the Jets. Walker has now caught 11 for scores this year. But on the pregame show, Paul McGuire stepped from an armored car out at the Meadowlands in the parking lot. We know how the fans there feel about him, so we thought he needed some extra security, and he proceeded to pick the Colts, not just to cover with the 16-point spot, but to win the game outright.
Maybe a surprise to you, pal, but it's not a surprise to me. Now, these Colts aren't that bad. I mean, they're 0-10, but they gave some games
How much
away.
worse can you be than 0-10?
Well, you could be 0-11.
Yeah.
No, I would tell you, you go into a game like this playing a team that's 0-10, and you're almost ready to get knocked off in a game like this. And I'll tell you, the Colts are playing almost flawless football.
Hey, I'm happy to play your straight man. Anytime you'd like. My pleasure. All right, continue with a 13-10 victory. Miami gets 4 touchdown passes and better than 400 yards throwing from Dan Marino. He has 27 scoring throws to lead the league. They win at Buffalo, 34-24. New Orleans is now 6-5, winning at St. Lou, 16-7. All the scoring in the first half in Pittsburgh. Then they just cruised after that, and they win it 21-10 against Houston. Detroit sacked Randall Cunningham 11 times. Then Eddie Murray had a 40-yard field goal with 12 seconds to play. The Lions win it 13-11 at the Vet. And in the Battle of the Bays, Green Bay defeats Tampa Bay 31-7. Randy Wright throws for 3 touchdowns. Both those clubs now 2-9 on the season. NFL 86 halftime activities will continue following these messages from your local stations.
Monday, it's a family tie special when Elise plays matchmaker for a shy boy and beautiful girl.
She's incredible. Terry's a dead man.
Will it be a hit or a miss?
Whoa.
Hit on Alf. It's the hilarious world premiere.
Take a look at me and tell me what you see.
Alf Video. Monday.
For my pass defense, I've got several powerhouses that love to eat up quarterbacks. For your winter defense, your Denver Ford dealers have 2 powerhouses that love to eat up snowy turf.
Front-wheel drive Ford Taurus and Tempo. Right now, there's plenty of Tauruses in stock, ready for delivery. Or choose Tempo, the car that's right for Colorado driving.
Remember, the best offense is a good defense. Good offense doesn't hurt either.
Your extra value Ford dealers of Denver.
Bulimia, Living Alive, Monday at 4:30 on First News.
Welcome back to Mile High Stadium in Denver. It is cooling down just a bit, and the score is still Denver very comfortably in front by a score of 31-7. And with the cool weather moving in, the Jackets finally do make sense. I knew that if we waited long enough today that they would. But this game does not make a lot of sense to Kansas City Chiefs fans. It has been dominated by the Denver Broncos. That's the good news. But the bad news is that their offense has not been any more productive than the offense was against San Diego last week.
No, when you take a look at the points that have been scored by Denver this afternoon, they had the fake punt for a touchdown that went to Steve Wilson in the score. They wind up with a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown by Will Height. They wind up with a fumble recovery in the end zone by Andre Townsend, a defensive tackle, after a Kenny fumble. And they wind up recovering another Kenny fumble at the 1-yard line. Tony Colorito got that, and Will Height went in for the score. So actually, 28 points have been set up or scored by special teams and the defense. It has not been an overly productive day for Denver's offense, but you know what? It doesn't matter because they're still up 31-7. It doesn't matter if the offense has done it. It just matters they're up by that
and it matters, it matters that the team that does it. But this does not bode well for the Denver Broncos looking at the rest of the season, because they're very comfortably in front here at halftime. Kansas City has not as yet been able to work their way back in the ballgame, although there is, of course, always that possibility. But offensively, Denver has to get something going again.
Yeah, you're right. Looking down the line to the remainder of their schedule, as we've documented here earlier, they really do have the toughest schedule of the three teams that are still in contention in the AFC West. Kansas City and the LA Raiders seem to have an easier schedule, so they do have to come out in the second half. If they have anything to prove here during the third and fourth quarters, it's that they can get the offense moving once again. John Elway, still, the last few weeks has not been very productive. 2 weeks ago, actually, he was, to be fair.
Yeah,
he was 11 out of 12 against the LA Raiders, completed 11 in a row. Then he came in here last week and threw 3 interceptions. That pattern seems to be continuing here this afternoon. Although he has not thrown any interceptions, they have not had more than 100 yards in passing yards this afternoon.
All right, let's go to the numbers. Let's take a look at the statistics of the first half, and this will give you an idea. From Denver's side, they have 9 first downs. They have 42 yards rushing, 121 yards passing, total offense 163 yards. But look at this, 8 of 19 and no turnovers. The key, the Chiefs have coughed up 3 turnovers, and they really haven't done that much when they've had the ball.
No, they haven't. They have not had the opportunity to do much when they had the ball. Again, we talk about time of possession always, and the Broncos this past week were talking a little bit about the fact that they wanted John Elway on the field a little bit more because they were behind in time of possession. Well, they are again behind now, but just to prove the fact that time of possession doesn't mean anything whatsoever is the fact that they're up by 24 points, despite having the disadvantage in the time of possession.
Yes, you've always said it's not the time of possession, it's what you do with the time that you have.
That's right. And the Broncos have used their time very well as far as special teams are concerned. There you see the numbers on Elway, 7 of 18 for 91 yards. Not the numbers we've come to expect from a John Elway, because he really has turned into one of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL. When he was coming out of college, out of Stanford, people likened him to a Joe Namath. They said he was the closest thing to Joe Namath that they had seen. And I think he's done everything to prove to people that that assessment may indeed be correct.
And also, but again, he has the good knees, and he has that great mobility. We haven't seen so much of it today, but that ability to scramble and to throw on the run, because the Kansas City defense is a very good defense, and they wanted to contain him. They figure he's not near as potent inside the pocket as outside, and they've contained him pretty well. He's just a short little punch type. Kickoff at the far side. Kansas City just trying to make anything happen. That's Ricky Hundley, the linebacker, who returns it, and Paul Kaufman makes the tackle. And I'm not sure that I understand that, because automatically you're giving Denver extra field position.
Yeah, you do. And Hundley there, just for a second, that twinkle in his eyes said that he was thinking about pitching it back to where Turn man behind him. Thought better about it with the score 31-7.
So Denver has the ball on their own 34-yard line, first down. Denver with no turnovers in the ballgame as we start the second half, and the Broncos lead the Chiefs 31-7, and Albert Lewis is back at defensive cornerback for Kansas City after having his bell rung in reality in the first half. Winder the ball carrier for no gain, and it'll be second down and 10. The Kansas City Chiefs defense have not allowed a 300-yard passer or a 100-yard receiver this season. Defense has really played well for Kansas City.
They are, and they are the only team in the AFC to be able to boast about that fact.
They are ranked overall 9th in the National Football League, 7th against the rush, and 13th against the pass. Steve Watson in motion, Elway back. Here comes a blitz from the outside. Oh! Looked around, and Lewis Cooper just filled up the eyeballs of Elway. That is the second sack for Kansas City.
And Lewis Cooper, it was as if John Elway had a big target on his back. Watch this, a beeline by Cooper.
Elway, no.
Just at the last second, he turned his head and saw a big white mass coming at him. That white jersey, number 55 of Lewis Cooper, just drilled Elway.
Loss of 11 is going to be third down and 21. You wonder what goes through. That's Winford Hood, the offensive guard, who is starting, and he had an ankle injury during practice this week. He's starting for Keith Bishop, who has a knee injury, and that means that Mike Freeman, in all probability, will be coming in at that guard slot. And Mike Freeman just came off of IR, And only played nine games for the Broncos, but that was in 1984. He was on injury reserve all of last year.
Yeah, he spent basically a year and a half on injury reserve, and he'll have to be pressed into duty because of the injuries. That's part of the problems of the Denver offense we've spoken about. Their offensive line has been banged up. And John Elway, because of his mobility, has stayed away from any trouble, but any more injury, as the one to Winfield hit just a second ago, may create real problems for the Broncos in the stretch drive.
Now they're going to bring in Dan Rimsberg in that spot, is what the call will be. 3rd and 21, and the pass is caught at the 34-yard line. Now that is very close to the original first down marker. Of course, that means you're 10 yards away from the first down. Mark Jackson pulled it in. Kevin Ross was there for the defense, and the punting team will come out for the Denver Broncos.
This has got to be all-out time for the Kansas City Chiefs. With this punt, they have to go after it and try to get something to happen. There's no sense of sitting back and waiting. They've got to go after Norman to try to block something and create something for their offense.
If there is a return, Jeff Smith is the return man for Kansas City. Here it is, and it is blocked. Albert Lewis has the block. Maybe the turning point for Kansas City. At least the door is open. Sherman Colcroft is the man who covered the football, but it was Albert Lewis with the block.
And nobody seemed to touch Albert Lewis whatsoever. He had a clean shot from the corner. And Norman really has little shot to get it off. He's a 3-step punter, but actually Lewis had to slow up to block the ball. He was that clean and that wide open going in, and the defensive strategy from the punt return side of Frank Gantz and his special teams for the Chiefs works in that situation.
So Kansas City has the ball at the Denver 27-yard line, first down. And Kenny wants to cash in immediately, has his man open in the end zone. If he can hold on, yes, touchdown. Carlos Carson, 27 yards away. The 4th touchdown on the season for Carlos Carson, who has now been healthy for the last 2 or 3 ball games.
Mike Hart was beaten badly on that play. That was the old stop and go. Carson pulled up just for a second, then took off. Harden bit on the pump fake by Bill Kenny, allowing Carson to get free in the corner of the end zone. Now, what this does is once again allow the Kansas City Chiefs to believe that maybe, despite the fact that they're down by this many points, they're not out of it yet.
Nick Lowry to attempt the point after. Kenny to hold. Mingler with the snap. And he splits it. The score, the Denver Broncos 31 and the Kansas City Chiefs 14. 12:55 left to go, 3rd quarter. We'll be back.
When Mazda asked me if I'd like to take some hot laps in one of their RX-7 race cars, they didn't have to ask twice. Whew, I'm telling you, nothing pours out power as smoothly as a rotary engine. It makes for a great race car and a great sports car. This RX-7 also has one of the most advanced suspension systems in the world. It loves to be driven hard. Check it out. But don't blame me if you start hating what you're driving now.
Want to take it out again, Mr. Garner?
Like I said, you don't have to ask me twice.
Here at Hewlett-Packard, we think long and hard about your business computing system and how it can help your people share more information and make better decisions. So before we talk hardware, we answer a lot of hard questions. At Hewlett-Packard, we never stop asking, what if?
They need a network package between sales and shipping. What if we took a new approach to the problem? The way I see it...
This hurts for you.
Sure doesn't look like league night.
Nobody does it like you. You stay home, give your all. You keep on running, you make it work. And this was for you. For you.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. By RCA, technology that excites the senses. And by Minolta, creator of the incredible Maxim Autofocus SLR system. Only from the mind of Minolta.
This is Charlie Jones, Jimmy Cephalo, and you're looking now at Carlos Carson, who just caught the 27-yard touchdown pass from Bill Kinney. And the Kansas City Chiefs trying to claw their way back into the game as Denver now leads 31-14. Nick Lowry to kick off. He sails this one to the end zone for the touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. And Jimmy, let's go back to the touchdown.
Yeah, watch the pump fake on the part of Kenny. He's looking to the left. He gives a little fake. That sets up the score because Mike Harden was looking. Look at him scrambling, number 31. He took a look at Kenny. He saw the pump fake. Carson stopped, and then Carson goes right past him for the score. That's something they set up by looking at films during the week. If Harden has the habit of looking back into the backfield at the quarterback, they can take advantage of Kenny looking at him, pump faking, and allowing the receiver to go by. And they worked it to perfection there.
Now there's something else that's starting to happen, too, is that Denver is starting to, the crowd has to get back in this ballgame for the Broncos. And they've been just enjoying the comfort of that big lead. Elway scrambles back. Now he throws. Will Hyde is there. 34-yard line. Albert Lewis makes the tackle, gain of 14, first down, and it's a perfect example of what the Kansas City defense worries about. As soon as he starts scrambling, he throws better, throws quicker, makes bigger plays.
Well, he's got such a strong arm. That's the whole deal. He's scrambling around back there, and usually when that happens, a receiver will start moving around, finding an open area, and a defensive back will slack off a little bit because no quarterback can throw the ball the other side of the field with this much accuracy. But guess what? John Elway can do it. And that's why the Kansas City Chiefs have said all week long, they've got to stay with the receivers when Elway starts to scramble.
Fumble. Ball is loose and is still loose. Kansas City has it. Gene Lang fumbled it. Dino Hackett with the recovery.
All right, this is tough to see what happens. Just a plain handoff, and it looked like Lang was looking downfield and he simply dropped the football. He was looking downfield, was not paying attention to the handoff, and Elway put it right in the middle of the basket, but Lang let it slip through his fingers.
Kansas City has the ball at the Denver 34-yard line, first down. 31-14. Jim Tunney is talking. Went over to talk to both benches. First he came to the Denver side, and then he went to the Kansas City side. There's obviously something that he's notifying everybody on. We're not aware of what that is. Now we go back to play.
Yeah, this is none of our business anyway.
He didn't want us to know. If he wanted us to know, he would have told us. First down, Kansas City. Now remember, the crowd, and it's a sellout crowd. 126 consecutive home sellouts. Second only to the Redskins, who are tomorrow night will have 155. Are they at home tomorrow night? Yes, 155. They've just been enjoying sitting back and being very comfortable. Now they got to get in the ballgame. Picked off at the 30-yard line. Ricky Hundley.
And if Ricky Hundley doesn't slip on this play, he might have gone a lot further with it. I think it surprised him that much because it appeared that it was Kenny that was throwing it to Hundley and not to another receiver. Watches downfield. He's staring at the receiver, actually looking for Smith, number 42, behind. If he doesn't fall here, he has an open area down the sideline, and Bill Kenny's actually the only one who can catch him.
The line of scrimmage at Kansas City 49-yard line. Elway sets up deep. Here comes the blitz. Mobley cut it off and makes the catch at the 23-yard line. Orson Mobley. Lloyd Burroughs makes the tackle. They're going to mark at the 24-yard line. A big of a 25 on the play and the first down.
And that was the mismatch. The advantage of having a 6'5" tight end. Really, this is just a throw that no business completing it, but Mobley is so big at 6'5", he's much taller than Burris. He simply outleaps the strong safety and picks up a lot of yardage for the Broncos.
And the rookie starting tight end from Salem College, his second reception for 32 yards. And Mobley's in motion. And here's Winder, slips one tackle and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it before Pete Koch brings him down. It'll be 2nd and 10. Tim Cofield was also there. Second and 10. Watson comes wide to the near side. Johnson is in the slot on the right side. And Mobley goes in motion. And Elway steps away before the snap. And that'll be a false start of the quarterback. So it's going to be 2nd down and 15. And they'll bring the ball back out to the 29-yard line. Offense of Denver continues to sputter. They're marking the 30-yard line.
They continue to have their problems with getting what they want into the football game and then getting executed at the line of scrimmage.
They come out in the same offensive set, but this time Mobley is up on the line. Now he steps back. Now he goes in motion. Elway over the middle, pass is complete. 11-yard line. This is Joey Hackett, the brother of Dino, the linebacker for Kansas City. His first reception of the ball game, and only his 2nd reception of the year.
Elway, you see his ability to look one way and then come back to a receiver on the other side. That's particularly helpful when you have number 20, Deron Cherry, in the football game, because Cherry has made a living being an All-Pro by reading the eyes of a quarterback. It's very important that Elway continue to look one side, go back to his primary receiver to keep Cherry from getting a jump on his pass.
And Joey Hackett on that play did slip the tackle of his younger brother, Dino Hackett. I started to say little, but how can you say little when the man weighs in at 220? Wilhite, the ball carrier, to the 10-yard line. 3rd quarter, Rams leading New England now 21-7. The Raiders leading Cleveland by 10. 3rd quarter scores. Games in progress. San Diego in front of Dallas now by a score of 14-10. Celebrating the return of Dan Fouts at quarterback, and the Jets in front of Indianapolis. Second down and 8. Going to blow the play dead, I believe, at the 1-yard line. It may be a first down. Let's see where they mark it.
Sammy Winder showing some fine strength at the end of this play. Watch it. Now he gets to the 5 on some good blocking, but he gets all the way to the 1-yard line just by his own strength, pushing 2 defenders, including number 20, Deron Cherry, down to the 1-yard line before Studdard, number 70, and a couple of other folks like Paul Howard, number 6, to try to push him into the end zone.
First down and goal to go. Wilhite, and he is knocked away, bounces back outside and scores his 3rd touchdown of the day. 14 carries. Wait, let me recheck those stats on Wilhite's number of carries, but that is his 3rd touchdown.
And the flip comes back and over, and it draws a great reaction from the crowd here in Denver.
And the Broncos back in front now, 37-14.
Watch the second effort on the part of Wilhite. He hits a stone wall at the line of scrimmage, but has enough presence of mind to scramble around the corner and slither into the end zone.
And here is the extra point attempt by Rich Carlos. But we have some action prior to the snap.
False start, 74. 5 yards.
False start on Dan Rimsberg. This was a 49-yard drive by the Denver offense, and of course, it was set up by the Denver defense. The extra point is up, and it is good. And it is Denver 38 and Kansas City 14. We'll be back with the kickoff here at Mile High Stadium in just a moment.
I always thought the Mazda SE5 was a good deal because it comes standard with just a ton of stuff. But catch this. Now Mazda's throwing in a bed liner, mud guards, sliding rear window, floor mats, even an AM/FM stereo at no extra charge. It's the SE5 Plus 5, and it's one truck deal that's too good to pass up. But if for some reason $650 worth of extra features at no extra charge doesn't get you out of your chair, don't come crying to me after it's over.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
This year, I needed to give a real family pleaser.
Honey, please, help me with this budget.
How about a new game, Dad? Please.
And I found it. Radio Shack's Color Computer 2. On sale for just $99.95. It entertains, educates, manages. It's expandable and affordable. Now that really pleases me.
The Color Computer 2. Sale price for Christmas. Only at Radio Shack.
Charlie, give me a light. Charlie, a Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light. Hey, thanks.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Can I have a light? Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
For Gerald Wilhite, this is his second 3-touchdown game this year. The first one was Dallas here at Mile High Stadium, and the second against the Kansas City Chiefs. Carlos kicks off. And Jeff Smith, a moment of hesitation, and then he decides discretion and valor, and he'll take the touchback at the 20-yard line. And so Bill Kinney, coming off of the interception by Ricky Hundley that set up the 49-yard drive, and the score for Denver coming back into the offensive set. And during this series, we did this once in the first half, and we'll do it again here. We'll take a look defensively at Carl Mecklenburg, number 77, and we'll see where he is setting up before each play. Give you an idea of the versatility of this man. And he sets up at right in as a down lineman. And here's Jeff Smith, and he has a first down, 13 yards to the 33-yard line. Andre Townsend makes the tackle.
And on that occasion, they did set up Carl Mecklenburg right next to Rulon Jones, and setting up that situation where one of them is going to get man-on-man with either an offensive lineman or, sadly, for some running back sitting in the backfield of the Kansas City Chiefs.
They mark it 14 to the 34. Mecklenburg again at the defensive right end. There he is as a down lineman. Puts the pressure on the passer. It's complete to Boyce Green. And Green is pulled down by Ken Woodard. 37-yard line, gain of 3. Second down and 7. When you're a quarterback and you're against a defense like Denver's, and you have a player like Mecklenburg that's all over the place, I'm sure there's a great tendency of everybody to come out of the huddle and say, where is he?
Yeah, I'm sure
check
there is.
Where he is.
All right, I'm sure they walk out of the huddle and somebody says, all right, he's at left linebacker, he's at right defensive end. And, of course, that creates so much havoc with your team. It seems that he's sitting at the right end spot right next to Rulon Jones, because what they want to do here is simply put as much pressure on Kenny as possible, so he's not moving around to other positions as he might have earlier in the football game.
He takes an inside route. The pass is high, and it is incomplete. The intended receiver is Carlos Carson. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 at the Kansas City 37-yard line.
With 6.5 minutes left in the game, and now the score 38 in the third, I'm sorry, the score 38-14. I keep waiting for Kansas City to go into that 2-minute offense. There's no sense in waiting till the fourth quarter begins down by this many points.
to do something, change the tempo of the game, to try and get something going. They almost had something going when they scored that second touchdown, and then recovered the fumble. They came back with the interception, and once again, momentum went to the Broncos side. 3rd and 7 from the shotgun. Mecklenburg again from the same spot, and this one is dropped. Right in the hands of Carlos Carson.
And Kenny took quite a shot.
It's Brad Buddy who is down also. Brad, of course, the great All-American from USC, now wearing number 71, which was the number of his dad, Ed, who played for the Kansas City Chiefs. That number had been taken when Brad came to the ball game. He wore 66, and I was glad to see him make the change to 71.
Let's take a look to see exactly what did happen. It's number 49, Dennis Smith, coming in with a straight shot, giving the lick to Kenny, and then it's Brad Buddy who follows back over the pile and actually fell on top of his quarterback.
And Buddy weighs in at 271.
And why is he limping? I mean, it seemed like
it should be Kenny that should be limping. That's right.
That's why Kenny was limping, but actually Buddy, and he seems to be all right, so we can smile about it, but it seems like he got a leg tangled up and pushed back over the pile, and that's what happened to him.
And Lewis Colbert will be kicking to Vance Johnson. Denver, as if they want to put the pressure on. Here they come. And he gets it off. Johnson takes it at the 13. And he'll be down around the 19. And they're going to, I believe they're going to say that the ball was down at the 20, a 50-yard kick. No. Now wait, look at Jim Tunney. So calm down, I'll sort it all out. And it is recovered by Kansas City. The decision has been made. And the ball is at the 20-yard line of Denver.
Let's take a look. 55, Lewis Cooper is the one who actually winds up stripping the football away. And there it is. Simply, it comes out. Cooper with a good job of not only stripping the football, but coming up with it as it's on the ground and then getting up. But nobody touched him there. A whistle had blown because the official on that side was not sure that the fumble had already occurred. But actually, because the whistle was blown, the play is dead. Cooper got up and ran with it, but it was all over. Nice play by Cooper, though, stripping the football and picking it up as well.
Picking it up to recover the fumble. And so the door swings open just a foot or so for Kansas City.
Yeah, they seem to be teasing us.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we'll get back in this football game. Maybe we won't.
And of course, as you know, that when the whistle is blown on the field of play, regardless of what happens, that's the end of the play. Kansas City first down. At the Denver 19-yard line, just over 6 minutes to go, and we are in the third quarter. Denver with a comfortable 38-14 lead. And now the crowd getting back into the ballgame for the Broncos. Kenny has protection, throws, and he misses his man Walt Arnold, the tight end. Now early in the ballgame, he was going to the tight end. And last week he went to the tight end. Now with it, that's the first pass to a tight end. I think this is the first quarter.
Yeah, the underneath passing game has been mostly to Jeff Smith in the running backs. He's not gone back to Walt Arnold very often, or Paul Kaufman, who caught one pass early, and I've not heard his number called since.
Second down and 10. Harry, the man in motion. Pass is complete. Drop by Page. Stephon Page drops it. And it'll be third down and 10. Dennis Smith at the coverage, but he had a step on it.
Yeah, and it seemed as if there was going to try to be a screen set up. But he looked downfield and saw a wide open Stephon Page, who simply beats Smith, but drops the football coming across the middle. The player who's down is Rick Donnelly. Now, on that replay, you saw Rick Donnelly shooting out and cutting down a linebacker. The reason he was doing that is because it was going to be a screen. But Kenny has the option of looking over and deciding to go to the screen or to Stephon Page, who was wide open. A good choice on the part of Kenny. A bad catch on the part of Stephon Page.
We've got an injury timeout.
We could get our orders
When you talk with Hewlett-Packard about your networking problems, we listen.
Now, my people in the sales office over here can't communicate with the factory. I've already talked to Ford.
Because while we have all the hardware and software, we can't give you a networking solution if we do all the talking. So before we ask, what if, we find out what's wrong.
We need to be cost effective. I have a suggestion. What if I took a look at your manufacturing floor? I could find out.
As much as I'd like to take credit for Mazda's success, it's really cars like this 626 sedan that deserve the credit. When I recommend one, people are quick to see why it's such a perfect family car. It's got a versatile interior, great seats too. But it also has all the credentials of a road car. I'll tell you, people sure don't mind hearing it's thousands less than the average new car today either.
Jimmy, I knew you'd forget to tell him about the trunk.
Oh, yes, it's got a nice trunk.
Nice big trunk.
Nice big trunk.
Nothing escapes the eye of Maxim. The world's first SLR with built-in autofocus, Minolta Maxim focuses by itself. Sharp, fast. Only the human eye focuses faster. With Minolta Maxim, you even get unexpected shots that would have gotten away. The incredible Maxim system.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
We've talked about what Kansas City has to do to get back in the ballgame. What does Denver have to do just to shut the door on them and close it out?
Denver has to stop giving gifts away to Kansas City. They allow Norman's punt to be blocked cleanly, and now they allow Vance Johnson gives up a fumble on a punt return. And if they would simply not do anything productively offensively, but not give up the turnovers on special teams and with their offense, then they'd wind up winning the football game. It's tough to lose a game when you're up by 24 points in the third quarter.
Third down and 10. The crowd back in the ball game here at Mile High Stadium. Kenny throws. His man is there, has a step, and he's overthrown. Just had a step on the defender. That was Jeff Smith. And it is fourth down and 10.
Rulon Jones and Irv Eatman going at it a little bit. It seemed Eatman was not very happy with exactly the way that Rulon went after the quarterback. Smith just a couple of feet, a little bit overthrown.
Nick Lowry is coming in. We'll look at a field goal attempt. On the year, he has hit 12 of 15. His long this season has been 47. His career, we mentioned this earlier, twice he has hit from 58 yards. This will be a 37-yard attempt. Oh, look at the intense concentration. The eyes tell the story. The windows to the soul. He pulled it, but he still made it through. So Kansas City adds 3 more to their total. It's Denver 38, Kansas City 17. We'll be back.
We're not a company.
But we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it.
We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you.
As your ability for leadership grows, so will you.
Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence.
Become a person with a future.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Marines.
The Army.
The Navy.
The Air Force.
We're the armed forces.
It's a great place to start.
Who has transformed video cameras, making them more compact, simpler, more colorful, more fun? Who? RCA, with the new Pro Wonder camcorder, the camera and recorder that uses standard VHS cassettes plus solid-state technology for brighter, more colorful memories. Pro Wonder. If you settle for less than RCA, that's exactly what you'll...
Give me a light. Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Pitcher of light.
Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Tuesday on 1986, the nation mourned, and this man was close enough to touch the grief. Remember, on 1986.
The score, the Denver Broncos 38, the Kansas City Chiefs 17. John Malkovich, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City perhaps overly nervous at the beginning of the ball game, and the Denver Broncos in the first quarter playing exceptional football. Their special teams and defense really playing well. And now Kansas City, as you mentioned, I said, you know, maybe they're all just, everybody's teasing us that Kansas City is going to get back in the ball game. But it seems as if the opportunity comes up time and time again. And now let's take a look at the other games in the National Football League. Rams in front of New England 21-16 in the third. Raiders leading Cleveland by 3. San Diego, and Dan Fouts is the quarterback now in front of Dallas 21-10. He had to come from behind to do it. And Indianapolis is just creeping up on the Jets. And remember, the Colts have not won this year.
Yeah, and if you're not careful, they're going to lose Vinny Testaverde if they go ahead and kick a field goal or something.
Denver from their 20. Mobley in motion, a little play action fake. And it is dropped by Steve Watson. Albert Lewis at the coverage. And as a wide receiver, there have been a lot of drop balls on both sides. Is there a reason?
Well, both quarterbacks throw the ball extremely hard. I think Bill Kenny has the strongest arm, along with David Woodley, of any quarterback I've ever played with. Bill Kenny was drafted to Miami in 1978, the second last player taken, 12th round that year. He winds up hitting Bill Arnsparger in a sideline drill during practice with the ball, knocks Bill Arnsparger flat, and gets traded the next day to the Washington Redskins.
Oh, no.
So he's got a strong arm. Maybe it has something to do with that.
Flag is down. Winder juggles it, and Winder is down at the 14, but there was a flag on the play. Art Still made the tackle. Kansas City was offside, so they will take the penalty. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line, and it will be first down and 5. Five minutes and 33 seconds. That is the time remaining in the third quarter. This is a long ball game.
Defense, offside, number 67. 5 yards, still second down.
That was Art Still who was offsides. Now let's go to New York and Ahmad Rashad.
4th quarter.
If you have Trudeau, do you need Testaverde? This becomes the question. Here it is, Winder and Still with a tackle.
Well, the Colts had the opportunity a couple of years ago to take John Elway. He said he did not want to play there. They took him, and they wound up losing him. Same situation arises. If you have Jack Trudeau, yeah, I think you always take a Vinny Testaverde. And if you can't work him into the offense, then you get a new head coach.
Third down and 4. At the 26-yard line. And once again, the offense of Denver is just sputtering along, not creating a lot of things. And the pass is incomplete. That means that they will be kicking to Kansas City. And with a little bit of a return, Kansas City can start with very good field position. And still a tremendous amount of time left in this ball game, more than 4.5 minutes in the third quarter.
That's right, and Chris Norman has to be thinking about the last time he went up to kick. And Albert Lewis came clean, the block, and now Frank Gantz, we mentioned him before, a strong, very good special teams coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, has a couple of different schemes devised, I'm sure, to go after Chris Norman. And he's got to be sitting back there thinking, where are they going to come from this time? Albert Lewis just went to the other side of the formation.
Lewis is picked up. The kick comes up a little short. It's going to take a roll. It goes past Jeff Smith. And will be down at the 20-yard line. It was not touched. The gamble here, of course, was that the ball had been touched. Tony Lilly picked it up. If it had been touched, it would have been a muff and not a fumble, so it could have been recovered but not advanced. but he rolls for 54 yards. It's a big mistake by Jeff Smith.
His biggest mistake was not getting up and catching the football.
In the air.
Someone who's up as a return man must always catch the ball on the fly, regardless if it has to be a fair catch or not. He knew Norman has been having trouble kicking the football here. He was simply too deep. He's got to catch the ball on the fly. Even if he picks it up on the roll there, he sacrificed 10 or 12 yards.
Maybe closer to 20 here than it turns out. Kansas City a first down on their own 20. They do not have the good field position that they thought that they would have. Kinney swings to the right side to Smith. He'll lose a yard. Cut down at the 19-yard line by Randy Robbins. And it's going to be second down and 11. Be sure to join us next Sunday for an exciting afternoon of NFL action. Your day kicks off with NFL 86 at 12:30 Eastern Time with host Bob Costas. Then an action-packed afternoon of regional coverage. Join us as the Denver Broncos will battle the New York Giants. That's going to be a good one. Interconference matchup between playoff contenders. And some of you will see the other ball games that are listed here. So check your local listings for the game and time in your area. And here's Jeff Smith to the 27-yard line. So he picks up 8 yards on the play. It's going to be third down and 3. Ken Woodard makes the stop for the Denver Broncos.
Now the Chiefs really are forced to do one of two things: throw the football or come back with that little draw to try to keep the rush off balance from Denver. But that's the only two play selections they have in their repertoire right now. They've forced themselves into this hole, and they really cannot try to rely on a running game. That more so was simply to keep the rush off balance.
Third down and 3. Pass is caught by Carlos Carson. 40-yard line, first down. First down, Kansas City at their own 40. Chiefs trail 38-17. Little pump fake. Then he wants to air one out. He goes deep. It is tipped. It is intercepted. Knocked away. They're going to call it Mike Harden. They're going to rule it no, incomplete. They're going to say that Harden did not have possession. I think what I proposed was correct. I think that Dan Reeves took the timeout. He wanted the replay officials to look at that again. I think it was a good call. Kenny has pressure, steps away, drops it off, pass is dropped. We don't keep statistics on drop passes. We're going to have to start it.
No, as a wide receiver, no, don't start that.
And it's third down and 10. Kansas City at their own 40-yard line. Five-man rush. And the receiver, one of the receivers slipped. And Gerald Wilhite is set this time to return the kick of Lewis Colbert. High snap, here they come. Oh, he barely gets it away. And it goes out of bounds. So both the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs putting pressure on the kickers. This one goes out at the 27-yard line. Let's take Denver leading 38-17. Just over 2 minutes left in the third quarter as Steve Watson is in motion. Here's the quick screen outside to Vance Johnson, and he scoots to the 33, so he has 6 yards. Second down and 4. Albert Lewis and Lewis Cooper is there. The report on Bill Kenny, he is all shook up, but will return. Wilhite in motion. The pitch is to Winder, and he will lose yardage back to the 27-yard line. He's going to lose about 5. Third down and 9. There's pressure from the outside, and there's a sack. This time it was J.C. Pearson who was coming. That is the third sack for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is Charlie Jones, Jimmy Cefalo. The sun has set here in Denver, and the cool chill is moving in, and finally we have the right wardrobe.
You knew you'd get that sooner or later.
If we waited long enough.
We would need these ski jackets.
That's right. Chris Norman kicking to Jeff Smith. Kansas City sends everybody. And he gets it off end over end, but it is short and out of bounds. And the Chiefs are going to have great field position. They're going to mark it out at the Denver 48-yard line. that right? No, that's not right. I didn't add that right.
That's right.
Far side, Carlos Carson.
I was at Penn State. I said, yeah, that's 21.
I know, you looked at the scoreboard.
Well,
it's the 8, take away 7 is a 1, and 3 take 1 is a 2. It's 21 points.
I just looked at the
Didn't arrive
scoreboard.
at that,
I wasn't going to argue with you.
The last play was good for 8 yards to the 40, and it's 2nd down and 2. Carson with 3 receptions, 48 yards, and the touchdown. First down for Kansas City as Mike Pruitt just keeps going. 24-yard line. He'll pick up 16 on the play and the first down.
Mike Pruitt, since coming over here from being released and picked up by Kansas City last year, has really turned into more of a blocker than a running back, but you can see he can still do it. The leading rusher active-wise in the AFC, and now in 12th place in the all-time NFL rushing list. Really has turned into quite a find for Kansas City, not only as a blocker, but as a runner as well, and providing experience for a young Kansas City team.
First down at the Denver 24-yard line. Here's this. Oh! Should have been, might have been, almost was picked off by Simon Fletcher. Jeff Smith, the intended receiver. Kenny was running out of time. And it will be 2nd down. Game's in progress. Rams now pulling away from New England. Raiders pulling away from Cleveland. 4th quarter. San Diego in front of Dallas, and the Jets leading the Colts by 1, 17-16. What is this? You're giving me an illegal procedure.
I think the Colts are leading the Jets.
Let's go back on that one. Let's go back and look at that last penalty. Now we get a little pushing and shoving. That's always exciting. To those viewers who have just joined us to watch Our House, please stay tuned. Our House will be seen in its entirety immediately following football, except for Mountain and Pacific time zones, where the program will be seen at its regular time. Third and 8 at the 22. Kenny from the shotgun. Here comes pressure. Barely gets it off, and it is incomplete. Stephon Page just trying to get there, and he couldn't quite make it.
And the pressure was being provided by number 49, Dennis Smith, coming from his safety spot on the corner. Stephon Page not really open at all, but Kenny forced to throw the ball up as quickly as possible because of the pressure from Dennis Smith.
Here's an update on the Jets in Indianapolis.
I bet you I was wrong.
Johnny Hector has just scored for New York, and they now lead 24-16.
And they were up 70-60. My apologies.
That's all right. No, but 4th down and 8. Kenny throws, and all alone along the sideline. This is Charlie Jones, Jimmy Cefalo, Mile High Stadium in Denver, where we still have more than 13 minutes left in the ball game. And Denver leading Kansas City 38-17.
The Broncos will simply try to run as much time, of course, off the clock as possible, not put the football up in the air except in order to try to sustain a first down, because as you said, with 12:48 now left in the football game, the only way they can lose this thing is to turn it over to Kansas City several times.
Sammy Winder picking up 3 to the 25, 2nd down and 7. Mobley in motion. Here is Winder. And he goes out of bounds, and that stops the clock. The one thing that, of course, Denver does not want to do, they would like to start taking some time off of that clock.
Oh, yeah, as much as possible. And that kind of a thing, the sweep to the right side, getting pushed out of bounds, stops it. I would imagine Denver is going to try to run as many traps and things up the middle as humanly possible, because they want to run as much time off this clock as they can.
One of the things that the Broncos have been doing is that about 88% of the time their formations have been set to the wide side of the field using the hash mark. So they're the hash mark there on the far side, the wide side being the near side of the field right now. What is the advantage of this?
Well, the advantage, actually, if they do it too often, there's a disadvantage because Kansas City looked at that this week and said, well, we know they're going to run to the strong side of the formation. Not all the time, but they will run about, like you said, 80% of the time to the wide side of the field. So they set their defense up to try to take that away.
And Wilhite coming to the wide side as a receiver, Deron Cherry, bumping him out at the 38-yard line, gain of 8 and the first down. Tonight on Our House, Chris's plans to join the Air Force Academy may never get off the ground. This is a program note in case you're wondering. Then place your bets on Easy Street for a rousing good time. And on Valerie, there'll be no ducking for David when a basketball injury turns into a surgical procedure. And there's more after this play. You should see the expression on Jimmy Cephalo's face. First down. Elway, it is pulled in by Mobley, the tight end. Oh, does he ramble down the sideline? 6'5", 256 pounds from Salem College. His third reception of the game.
And Mobley sitting in for Clarence Gay, as we said earlier, who was suspended. And they've said that they believe that maybe Orson Mobley might be their tight end of the future. You can see it. Why, here, watch him take on. That's number 20, Deron Cherry. And it was Deron who was on the ground with Mr. Mobley standing straight up, as you noticed.
And Orson Mobley now 3 receptions, 55 yards. 20 yards on that last play at the Kansas City 42. And a first down as Gene Lang gets the call. And Dino Hackett stops him at the 39. Gain of 3. Second down and 7.
And Dino Hackett has been one of the big, nice spots for the Kansas City defense. They say he is such a very intense player. The reason why coming into this game, as I mentioned earlier, 40 tackles more than any other Kansas City Chief, as Orson Mobley limping a little bit. Find out exactly where he gets hurt. There you see him, left part of your screen. He's got somebody in his face that he's blocking against Hackett, and then the backside of the pile knocks him down and over. It seems like he twisted a leg in there a little bit.
Second and 7 at the 39. So many injuries that way. You get hit from the backside, they roll up on the back of your head. Watson in motion. Winder. I would give him a yard. That'll be it. We're down in 6. Holly with the tackle. Now let's go back to their program note. I really want to mention this. The NBC Network movie premiere.
Another one of your favorite movies.
Oh, Terms of Endearment. Jack Nicholson, such a talent. This is one of the, I want to meet him. Sometime I'd like to meet him. He is such a great talent, and in this movie, he is so good. I mean, there's a lot of other people in it, but anything that he is in, he just dominates. He is truly, I'd love to see a man or a woman with that kind of talent at work. It's just such a pleasure for the viewer.
One of my favorite parts is when he turned into a play-by-play announcer in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, right, when he was doing baseball.
He did a very good job, too.
Wonderful job. That may be a problem in case he decides to give up acting. Oh!
Winder receives the headache from Cherry. Gain of a yard.
And Cherry was the one who was run over, well, not exactly run over, but took the worst part of the hit with Orson Mobley, and he's been building it up for 2 or 3 plays, you know. Give me somebody to hit. Give me an orange jersey. And sure enough, poor Sammy Winder is not looking upfield, and as soon as he catches it, smack.
Oh, no. What happens to that as a receiver when as soon as you catch the ball, you turn around and you see him, you know they're right there?
Well, there's nothing you can do about it. And basically what happens is that you really blank out for a split second. You don't realize the hit and hitting the ground until you're on the ground and say, boy, that was quite a ride.
Norman goes for the corner. Well, does not get it. It was close, but he does not get it.
And last time they were in the Super Bowl, 1977. And this team coming in, they won their first 6 football games, and many people thought they would be that team, the AFC venture into the Super Bowl. So let's take a look and see how far along they may be, what they need to improve, and how well they've done at each position.
Mike Pruitt picks up 6 yards to the 26. It'll be second down and 4. And the first group that we're going to look at is the defensive line.
Led by that man, Rulon Jones. They got to be another all-pro year for him. He's done just about everything, and we've given them an A for a number of reasons. One is Rulon Jones.
Because they're very good.
Yeah, but as far as numbers are concerned, Rulon Jones, how about Carl Mecklenburg? He's listed as a linebacker, but we've got to include him as well as a defensive lineman.
Yeah, because we will do an in and out. Yeah, because we'll count him on both sides because he plays both as a down lineman and as a linebacker. Kenny with a little time, and now he runs out but gets it off. And the pass is complete to Jeff Smith. He was almost in the grass, but they're going to allow the completion. And let's see, if the ball is touching the chalk, it'll be a first down. You don't need to measure here because remember it was a touchback. Now, Jim Tunney's bringing out. Jim, you know the rule. You don't have to do that. Remember, it was a punt into the end zone for the touchback. You started at the 20. I'm surprised. I am surprised about that.
That's my buddy right here.
So the change will come across for the measurement.
Charlie, if he's short, we got a scoop.
That's right.
Guess what? He's short.
Oh, now the change can't be over there. The change on the wrong side of this.
I gave up officiating when I left football.
No, they like a lot of help. I love to help them. Right. And it's nice when you're on the plane with them afterwards. And then they discuss it. Rams leading by 5. The Raiders leading Cleveland by 10. Dallas back in front of San Diego in that battle at Jack Murphy Stadium. And the Jets now have the comfortable lead over the Colts. Those games in the fourth quarter. We're in the fourth quarter. 38-17. Denver leading Kansas City. And we'll take a look at the linebacker for the Denver Broncos and see how their report card is doing. Third down and just a few inches to go for the first down. And Kenny picks it up at the 33-yard line.
All right, how do you rate the linebackers of this crew, Charlie?
Well, they're very good.
How good do you think they are?
Well, they could be better. I will rate them an A-.
Well, I think with Mecklenburg again back there, that also adds to that. You're absolutely right. Another All-Pro. He's got 6.5 sacks from that position. Ricky Hundley, another interesting story. Denver's leading tackler, first-round draft choice, remember, and traded here after some contract problems. He's also wound up to be a terrific inside linebacker for the Broncos. He's really strengthened their team.
Kenny just running out of time. He's a little shove over to the side, and it is incomplete. Second down and 10, and we'll be looking at the secondary of the Broncos. And the far side,
what a catch by
Page, and he pulled it in.
Stephon Page is the most confident chief there is. They talk about his great confidence. Doesn't have overwhelming speed, but has the ability to get away at the line of scrimmage. That's why with a team like the Broncos, who will play bump and run coverage occasionally, Stephon Page plays well against them. There you see great catch,
yes,
stretching out over Dennis Smith, number 49.
Gain of 13. That is his second reception of the ball game. Line of scrimmage, the Kansas City 46. His pressure, and the pass is low, but caught by Jeff Smith at the 50-yard line. So they pick up 4. His 6th reception is going to be second down and 6. Randy Robbins makes the tackle. And Denver using 8 defensive backs, and Dan Fouts says they're clones. They're interchangeable. They're all good. They're all about the same height, same speed, same reaction. They got experience. Pass on the far side is no good. To Henry Marshall, he was out of bounds. So it'll be third down and 6.
And they are interchangeable in a lot of ways. For example, Louis Wright on one side, Mike Harden on the other. As 2 cornerbacks coming in, if I was a wide receiver or a quarterback, I wouldn't know which side to pick on. So you simply run your offense, and it's hit or miss against Louis Wright or Mike Harden. Louis Wright been a Pro Bowler 5 times, as I mentioned. And Mike Harden, many think he may be working up to the spot where he will become an All-Pro very soon.
So overall, the defense of Denver is exceptional.
Yes,
it really is.
It is, and that has been what has been continuing this process of putting him in a position to be 9-1 after today's football game.
Third down and 6.
Excuse me, 9-2.
Kitty is sacked at the 40-yard line. That is the 4th for Denver. Gilbert got it. A flat. This one up. Fair catch is called for and taken at the 16-yard line. So Denver Denver-Kansas City game. They said, we agree. And so we're being seen in Philadelphia. Thank you, Bill. We appreciate you increased our audience. Somebody was supposed to be there, and they weren't.
Well, they were setting a screen up to 82 Vance Johnson. And John Elway, with this point in the game, 6 minutes and 20 seconds, I don't understand that.
I don't
It's 38-17, right? That's what the scoreboard says.
It still
It
is.
is the fourth quarter, right?
Yes, still is.
6 minutes and 20 seconds. What are they? That's it. Wait, what?
There's a flag down, too. I don't understand that call. Bill Kenny, a strained right hip, probably will not return. That means that the next time the Chiefs have the ball.
Defense, number 34.
And just
5 yards, first down.
The way it's going, Kansas City today, on a play like that, where they have it defensed well, and Elway is forced to throw it away, they wind up with a holding penalty.
5 yards to the 21, and it's a first down. First down and 10. On the draw. Will Height stopped by Hackett and Still. And in the fourth quarter, Rams leading by 5. Raiders leading Cleveland by 10. Those have not changed. Dallas in front of San Diego, and the Jets comfortably in front of Indianapolis. Jets are looking good.
They are, and the Broncos and the Jets have got to be thought as the two front runners this year, as the strongest teams in the AFC.
And don't forget the Raiders winning will stay 2 games behind Denver, and the Raiders, as we pointed out earlier, have the easiest schedule of the 3 contenders in this division. Elway, little play action fake, rolls, throws, it is low.
And Kansas City winds up 2 games back as well. Next week, they travel to St. Louis. We'll be there for that football game. And the Broncos have a very tough matchup. They go to the Meadowlands to play the Giants.
Now, we also have, of course, the Super Bowl report card on the offense. Quarterbacks, Elway. We had him, you know, we thought about an A+. But the last 2 weeks, last week and this week, so we brought him down just to an A.
Now, he's a quarterback that you can ride the crest of many Super Bowls with.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, John Elway would have to throw many, many more interceptions to be dropped from an A.
Third down. And here is Vance Johnson. And he is cut down by Albert Lewis. And the clock moves on. It'll be 4th down. Now let's take a look at the running backs of the Denver Broncos. They've been hurt, and they were without Steve Sewell, who is a running back receiver. And we're giving them a B.
And for that reason, the last few weeks, they've had some trouble trying to establish a running attack, as I mentioned earlier. Gerald Wilhite thought to be more of the receiving end. In fact, he's the team's leading receiver, while Sammy Winder, he's the rushing end of that duel. And when you mentioned their defensive backs, they look like clones. Winder and Wilhite look the same way. Same height, same size, slightly different skills. But we'll give him a B on that end.
Chris Norman. Ooh, good kick. Jeff Smith, fair catch at the 34-yard line. 38-17 with just over 4.5 minutes to go, and Todd Blackledge is the quarterback, and he fires. They're going to rule it incomplete at the 40-yard line to Jeff Smith. So it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Todd Blackledge, in fact, there was Kelly, Eason, O'Brien, and Marino involved.
We'll come back to that. The numbers mean that Blackledge was the 7th player taken in the first round. We'll come back to those numbers again. This is a screen. And a flag is down, and he goes downfield, and the pass is incomplete. He set up the screen. Nobody came back with him. Everybody, all the defenders were over there amongst the screen, and there was a flag down on the play. One dropped to the 27, and one dropped upfield at the 44. And here's Jim Tunney.
Offsetting fouls, holding offense 40, holding 45 defense. We play the down.
Now let's go back to the class of '83 amongst the quarterbacks, and they have all played well at times. Blackledge, you know, really I think has been the least productive. You'd have to say that.
Well, he statistically has been the least productive. Of course, Elway having a fine year this year and will be a great quarterback for a number of years. Kelly coming over from the USFL, very strong quarterback. Eason, O'Brien, and Marino. Marino's been an All-Pro. O'Brien probably will be an All-Pro this year, and Eason may have a shot at it as well.
And Marino was the first one to jump to the 4 out of the group. 2nd down and 10. Good pass, but knocked away. Throwing into double coverage. Henry Marshall, the intended receiver. And it's going to be 3rd down and 10. Tony Lilly was there for Denver. The New York press immediately, you know, and sports writers and sportscasters and everybody, you know, said, who is O'Brien? And the Jets were really castigated for their choice out of that class of '83.
Yeah, because they passed up Marino as well, but so did a number of other teams.
But they really said, you know, O'Brien, you know, they never figured that he would be the quarterback that he is. It just takes, as you know, it takes some seasoning.
Yes, it does.
And this is the thing that, you know, that Blackledge, some are later bloomers than others. Jerry Burns, the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, the oldest rookie head coach. He's 59 years old. And he's doing a great job with the Vikings. So maybe just, it doesn't take Todd that long. He goes downfield, and he is on target to Carson. Carlos to the 39, back to the 41, gets around the corner, turns it, he's to the 20, and is bumped out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Good lands.
Blackledge was
48 yards on that play.
And Blackledge was right on target with it. Carson is down, pulled down from the backside. Seems that he might have twisted a leg or something. What a nice throw by Blackledge, though. Over number 31, that's Harden. And from this point on, it's all Carlos Carson. Down by this many points, he can afford to go back and forth. Doesn't matter if he's given up ground. His idea is to get a quick score to try to generate something for them. A good day already, though. 96 yards, not a bad afternoon for Carlos Carson. Earlier on in the season, when Carson was injured and unable to go, the Chiefs had a problem because he provides the vertical stretch on a defense. He's got that.
Oh, what about that? First and 10 at the Denver 18. Blackledge in zone, incomplete. Flags are down. Knocked away by Dennis Smith. Jonathan Hayes. 3 minutes and 58 seconds remaining. Denver 38, Kansas City 17, down by 3 touchdowns. Blackledge with pressure over the middle, tipped incomplete. We have not won here in the last 4 years, so this would be 5 years in a row. They've come close, but they haven't won. Scrambling out and then pulled down. And that is the 5th sack for the Denver Broncos. And Rulon Jones got it.
One of the reasons the change was made from Todd Blackledge to Bill Kenny is the fact that Bill Kenny has this remarkable ability to read a defense very quickly and backpedaling away from the center. Todd Blackledge has not yet learned to develop that skill, and he holds on to the ball a little bit longer. And one of the reasons why John Mackovic went ahead and made the change to Bill Kenny.
Third down and 26. Just under 3.5 minutes left. Double coverage, and it is incomplete. And Denver will be 9-2. That's the way it shapes up right now in the West. And Marshall lateral and everybody waiting on this. It was to Jeff Smith. The defenders did not even move. Well, they didn't convert to the ball.
See, that play works when everybody's converging on the football, but it was 4th and 26 yards at that point, and so nobody converged. They figure, well, go ahead, turn around, I'll attack you when I get there. So the pitch and the lateral actually lost a couple of yards.
The Bronco defense was not in any hurry. Gary Kubiak is now the quarterback for Denver. One touchdown, 2 interceptions. He's been sacked 1 time this year. Limited playing time, obviously. And Ken Bell, the ball carrier, he picks up just a couple of yards, the 25 to the 27-yard line. And Denver will be content now to work on the clock. Dino Hackett makes the tackle.
And our report card as far as the remainder of the Denver Bronco offense is concerned?
Well, the offensive line, and we didn't talk about the offensive line, did we? They've had some injuries in that offensive line, and And I think that has hurt him as much as anything.
Yeah, I do too. They've had a number of problems. Paul Howard was not a starter, number 60 coming into the season. He is the oldest Bronco. We give him a B-, but after some injuries, he's come in and started and done a good job. But they do have the problems with Keith Bishop being injured, and at times Dave Studdard has gone out of the football game, and so they've had to play with a lot of backups.
Kubiak, a little play-action fake. Bill Moss got him. That would go as a sack, and the 4th for Kansas City. 3rd down and 15. Kansas City is going to be offsides. The pass downfield is tipped. It is intercepted. There's another flag downfield. Ron Cherry just kind of coasting, and he'll go ahead and step outside because Kansas City was offsides. It was a free down for Kubiak. 154. Showing a little bit of motion. Show a power formation, pick up a yard to the 36, 2nd and 9. Pearson bringing down Ken Bell. Just along the road from here to the end of the season, and they're setting the sights for next year.
Well, 2 weeks ago, they nearly knocked off the Kansas City Chiefs, would have pulled the Chiefs out of this particular situation here today. And last week, of course, beat the Denver Broncos, and today played the Cowboys very well. So they are a team that they have had so much bad luck through this season.